Hello, Crambled Eggs, and welcome to your deck review. For those of you joining us for the first time on YouTube, this is a series where I, Maultown, normally a short-form Commander Jester, will calmly and lovingly take a look at your Commander deck's weird little PP and try to make it better. And today, we are looking at a Grahatia Scion Reborn Bracket 3 deck that is trying to put its even bigger kid pants on and go to Bracket 4. So, as is now tradition, I'm going to read the card to ensure we're not making typos. It's a 2/3 with lifelink. Whenever we cast a non-creature spell, we can pay life equal to the spell's mana value. If we do that, we make a 1/1 and we put that many counters, the life we paid, mana value of the spell, that many +1/+1 counters on it, but we do it only once each turn. So the commander really wants to play on everybody's turn. We play on mine, I play on yours, I play on yours, I play on yours, etc., etc. And this deck has embraced this. The struggles they are having is they don't want to have to give up on too many of their themes, and boy, do we have a lot of them. We're doing Voltron counters, limited creatures, and control. Now, I'm going to strike limited creatures from the record. That's not really, it's not a thing. It's not really a deck building cost for you, especially because your commander is making creatures for you. Now, doing the, Voltron thing, the control thing, and then whatever counter synergies you have, yeah, those are probably different themes. And so you want guidance on how to boost it up to bracket 4 without leaning too heavily into a control deck. So let's just talk about, what is a PP? PP is premise and practicum. We're in the premise right now. That's the idea behind the deck. The practicum is what they actually have. So if you want to be in bracket 4, but you don't want to be a pure control deck, that really means you're going to be a mid-range deck. And mid-range is, I'm going to play a bunch of good threats, and God help you, tears in my eyes, I will detonate you if you fuck with me. And it seems like you're 90% of the way there. So we want a mix of Voltron and Go Wide tokens because we can turn equipment into bodies. So I think the biggest downside here, right, the cornerstone of every Voltron deck is, hey, I'm not paying for this fucking equip cost, right? You can see it in Naya Cloud, you can see it in Mono Red Gilgamesh, you can see it over and over and over again. They're doing, hey man, I'm not paying for that shit. And I was looking through the list while I was having my breakfast that Z made for me, which was incredibly loving of them. Thank you, baby. You have Sigarda's Aid, you have Forgenew, you have Pure Steel Paladin. If we really don't want to be tutoring for one of those guys, right? Because at bracket 4, we have to assume law of equivalent exchange almost, where, okay, if I'm getting to take a good game action, my opponent's probably getting to take a good game action as well. If I'm tutoring for something, they're tutoring for something. They're probably tutoring for a combo. I'm tutoring for a free equip to put Black Mage's Rod on somebody for cheaper. Big and that's where the big fart noises happen. So to skip ahead in my own thought process a little bit, I think the only issue with your deck going from bracket 3 to bracket 4 is you have spent a little bit too much time at the anime sword stall and you have to go buy a gun. The only issue here is your equipments are not threatening enough. Your equipments are too I'm gonna fly under the radar, I'm gonna be value pilled, and then I'm eventually gonna get you. In bracket 4, if you want to fly under the radar and eventually get people, you have to do it with a higher quality of threat, or you have to do it with a combo. And your primer talked about, please God, no Thoracle. I hate wet women. Crazy thing to admit to me, but most of these are not that threat. I would want every equipment you're casting and you're putting on these 1/1s that you've buffed up, or you're putting on Grahatia, they have to be good enough to make somebody say, oh fuck, I can't let that hit me. So ironically, one of your best ones, Ader and Prewin. I can't believe I'm putting Ader and Prewin over Sword of Wealth and Power. For your purposes, I'm not convinced you should cut Sword of Wealth and Power, but I am convinced that Ader and Prewin, one second, I'm getting a ton of texts. It's from my to-pay appointment. I'm so sorry. I am convinced that Ader and Prewin is more valuable to you in general, even though it's kind of a laugh, because it will turn any individual token into a near game-ending threat. At bracket 4, At bracket 4, there's fewer and fewer go wide players. Most creatures that people are putting down, like they'll chump block and they'll be like, it doesn't even matter. It's not my demonic consultation. They fucking care, dude. Like, show me a Tymna that someone's like happy to not have anymore, and I'll show you a fucking liar. So the equipments that I dislike or dislike for your specific purposes, I'm not a fan of Astrologian's Planisphere, which makes me feel like a crazy person because this is a very good equipment, but it doesn't pass the test of if you just cast this and put it on like a 3/3, would your opponent go, fuck? And it doesn't do that. Black Mage's Rod also doesn't do that. I have a softer spot for this one because we're going to get to spread a lot of damage. I'm not even convinced that's good for us, though, because we want to fly under the radar. We want to be like, okay, who's the person most likely to take me out of the game first? I'm going to force you out of the game, and I'm going to use my protection suite to keep me in the game. I play a healthy amount of VV. No matter how funnily you play it off, people get mad by the third time you go, VV trigger, take one. And so even though it gets you a lot of value, I'm not convinced it's the type of value that you're really searching for. Regalia, I don't love Ward 2, man. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I don't love Ward 2. I've never seen it protect a man, right? It's like this, it's like when people hide behind the car doors of like a 1980s Honda in a movie shootout and like, yeah, that would protect me in real life. You're riddled with bullets. The unblockability is pretty sweet. So I'm kind of thinking about letting this one slide because it's like, yeah, we can make our lifelink commander unblockable, and that's probably pretty important for us, but does notably fail the test of people would see you swing with this and be like, oh yes, that's not a problem if it hits me. Buster Sword is probably one of the first to join Aedarin Prewin in the annals of like, somebody's gonna consider putting an important creature in front of this to chump block it to prevent you from getting the trigger. That's really what I want to hone in on. Dancer's Chakrams, really on the bubble, like so valuable, so useful. Lifelink's gonna be so great for us. Nobody's shitting themselves because you swung a 3/3 with lifelink at them. And that's what we need. We need them to shit themselves. Dark Knight's Greatsword, one of the worst for my money. Like, it's just +3/+0. I realize that it has an equip cost that we can cheat, which is kind of nice, but bracket 4 is where we have to begin leaving behind the things that are kind of nice for the things that fucking kill people. Idol of Oblivion, great card draw engine, whatever. Cauldron Compliate. This is really fun. God, is this a fun card. I love playing this card. I'm not fully convinced for your deck for two reasons. Number one, it doesn't have a crazy fucked up like, it's going to make people not block it. So you're going to guarantee damage, which is nice. It's probably, you know what? It's really sick to have on your commander. If you wanted to keep any one of these individual cards I'm calling out as not individually good enough, it would be this one, because you put this one on your commander and you're gaining so much life. You're putting so much commander damage onto people. Like, Datibayo, I believe it, man. But Cauldron Compliate is costed around making its own body anyway. So our specific efficiency gimmick, which is to have Graha Tia make the bodies for us, and then to have something else like Pure Steel Paladin free equip it, Cauldron Compliate just doesn't fucking care, man. They just don't fucking care. And we're not doing things to cast it at flash speed. We only have 34 lands. We don't have a lot of ramp. Like, we have the bare minimum of ramp. So we're going to have to be tapping out for this shit really late in the game. You could make one of these creatures. By the way, I'm also totally unconvinced on the token doubling thing. There's a section in your primer where you talk about like, oh man, it feels like I have to be doubling the tokens to have a chance at doing anything. I think that is a symptom of your equipment being weak. That is not a symptom of your tokens not being John Wick. It's a symptom of not giving your John Wick tokens actual guns and giving them Nerf blasters instead. So I would consider... Great. Stoneforge Mystic. Because they're also an equipment tutor. They can put an equipment out for free, which you're going to be like, oh my god, but I want to be casting the spells. Like, Cauldron Compliate specifically, you don't want to be. Is rough and bad. Don't do it. Machinist Arsenal. Really cute. This is another one where we're like defeating our own theme where the equipment is costed around being equipped when it comes in. And then we're going like, okay, but here's an extra token, by the way. This one probably does get over the hump of like, oh fuck, I can't let this guy hit me because our artifact count is 22. So I would believe that we have like, I don't know, +8, +8, +10, +10 onto whatever thing we're equipping. Like that's sick. Protection's fine. Ninja Blades, much like Dark Knight's Greatsword, this is just an equipment that does not threaten enough. Like you get to loot, which is good. It's solid value. The solidest value in this game is you killing a motherfucker. We have to threaten. We have to do one of two things. Either the token has to threaten so much damage that they are going to use good removal on a dogshit token you made with Grahatia, or it has to do so much damage that you will gain so much life with Grahatia that you don't care that you got chump blocked. And then the bonus is that they had to chump block with a hopefully important creature. Um, Pearl Medallion seems like the weirdest possible medallion you could pick, given how many of your instant speed section is black or blue. That's just one little aside. I think like Sapphire probably serves you better for holding up interaction. Uh, you could even risk it with Jet Medallion. Like, do we have? Okay, so it's because most of most of the stuff. Okay, I think that's fine. You're just getting the reduction on your turn versus on someone else's turn. That's okay. I'm still not I'm not totally convinced because okay, no, I'm gonna take it back. I'm gonna take it back. I'm still gonna jump down your throat. I'm not totally convinced on this because the medallions are good. Like they really, really make their money for you when you are getting the reduction specifically multiple times in a turn. And this does not seem like a deck that is getting the reduction multiple times in a turn. It seems like a deck that is using it to, all right, I'm going to cast one white spell on my turn. I get the reduction, and then I'm holding up the mana to cast like a blue spell on someone else's turn. Like this is a situation where even though it's group huggy, you would get infinitely more mileage out of like Helm of Awakening. And this is one of those things where you might think it feels bad because it's like, oh, you're ramping other people. Your deck is designed more than anybody else's to break parity on this type of effect because you want to be casting a spell on everybody's turn. Everybody's going to get value out of this, yes. Nobody should be getting value out of it like you're getting value out of it, except maybe the Storm player, and that's you should be desparking their shit post-haste. Wop Sword gets into a similar thing as... This has the same problem as like Ninja Blades, as Black Mage's Rod, as Astrologian's Planisphere. It's quite good. Maybe you argue for keeping it anyway because it has the protection from instants and sorceries, which can keep your commander up longer. But we're still in the situation of like the first 2 to 3 swings with this equipment, people go, oh yeah, okay, whatever, it's fine. And that is the emotion we have to avoid. We have to get a slew of equipments, and whether we're tutoring for them or just drawing into them, we have to get a slew of equipments that make people go like, oh shit, I'm so fucked. Oh shit, oh god. Oh geez, oh fuck. The two I'm thinking of first are Quietus Spike. If I hit you, lose half your life. I'm also thinking of Excalibur, but not as strongly because it's really expensive, and so it would be really risky to rip this one. Um, you pay 12, but you would get a 13/13. And then, if you gave it to your commander, you lifelink. So this is like very high risk, very, very high reward. But this, I would say, is the archetypal type of thing that you want to be slamming down. And maybe like this is one you just don't pay the cost for, right? Ideally, you should have your commander, you should have a couple like low power tokens kicking around. You don't have to pay the 12. You just put this on a different guy. It cares about historic permanence, so it's going to benefit from all the artifacts we already have. And then Quiet as Spike, you can just pay this one normal style, and then you have a 4/4 that makes people go, "Ah, do I wanna take 22? Do I wanna take 18 damage here?" Like, it gets them close enough that if they look like they're about to pop off, you can then politic with the table to, like, knock them out, and if the table freaks out, you can go like, "Oh, well, it's just a 1 person, they're not unblockable, like, we c it this is a Quiet as Spike is a 6-turn clock on the table, but it's like a 2, maybe 3-turn clock on any individual player, and that's the type of threat profile I think this deck wants to have if you want to avoid combos and you want to avoid being, like, totally full, like, dickhead, I'm controlling you, I'm controlling you, I'm controlling you. Could we even do other Excalibur? I'm gonna keep it a buck. I don't think you gain life enough to do this. Your commander does have life link, and so it makes me want to try to be greedy for it. But I think you end up in the same situation as I was talking about with like Dark Knight's Greatsword, where it's like, okay, you have +4/+4, it's cute. Nobody's like afraid in their bones about you hitting them with this. Uh Colossus Hammer is really cute, but it's going to suffer from the problem of like we have to get a free equipper before it is viable, and it just makes a 2/2 otherwise. Uh, I don't think Blade of Selves does anything for you. Genji Glove could really do something though. Genji Glove could really cook somebody up. Let's think about this. We get it on our commander. We have a 2/3 life linker with double strike, and we get 2 combats. That is 8 life we are punching out of somebody. We put it on the token that we make. That is a 6/6 with double strike, 2 combats. That is 24 damage we can threaten. That is like, and if we've gotten like anything else established, this turns our board into like, okay, now I can threaten to kill you specifically, Bobby. Bobby Joe Rogsai, you can die now. Don't love Conqueror's Flail. Leyline Axe isn't the worst. Neither is Caduceus I think is not good enough because we're going to be going so far down on life. Only +2/+0. Only +3. We can't do Sunforger. Ooh, okay. Adaptive Omni Tool. This card was better than people gave it credit for when Aether Drift came out. It's better than people give it credit for now. I think this would be very useful for you, particularly with how many fucking artifacts you have in your deck. This is like, I think this is great to replace. Fuck, I'm giving you a 1-for-1 basis. God, but it's so good. I'm giving you a 1-for-1 basis. Like, okay, we had Ninja's Blade to give us a little bit of value. This is like the floor for how valuable the value equipment has to be. And this might even, with a high artifact count, begin to threaten meaningful damage. But I think that's the cornerstone of all this. I have no problem with what you're doing in the instant speed section. This card's a little silly, but I love it too. You have a lot of tutors, that's great. I think your feeling that you need to rely on token doublers will ease as you identify equipments that are actually threatening. But I think the entire problem in this deck is contained in you have a very good mid-range shell, and then instead of playing Shielder of the Apocalypse, you play Black Mage's Rod. And if we just upgrade that to the level of bracket 4, which for you is gonna mean I gotta put fucking damage on you, brother. Then I think the deck works pretty cleanly, and you get to keep a deck that feels about the same as it does now. It also makes it very easy to go back and forth, right? You can just have 2 different equipment piles of like, this is the bracket 3, I'm gonna grind you out over like 7 to 10 turns pile, and this is the like bracket 4, I'm gonna look to get a man dead pretty early on, and then tighten the vice grip from there. So if there's anyone in the comments who has any great damaging equipments I've missed here, please let me know. Otherwise, I wish you the very best, and I do hope this helps.